السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. And continuing with the advice of Luqman to his son, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حملته أمه وهنا على وهن وفصاله في عامين أن اشكر لي ولوالديك إلي المصير وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا واتبع سبيل من أناب إليه ثم إلي مرجعكم فأنبئكم بما كنتم تعملون يا بني إنها إن تكن مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأت بها الله إن الله لطيف خبير. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and continuing with the advice of Luqman to his son, we come to the portion of this conversation where he says to his son, Ya bunay, O my beloved son, إنها إن تكن مثقال حبة من خردل. If there is a mustard seed, a smallest microscopic grain, في صخرة, in the depths of a rock, أو في السماوات, or in the heavens, أو في الأرض, or in the depths of the earth, يأتي بها Allah. Allah will bring it forth يوم القيامة. Nothing escapes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge. Nothing, not even something as microscopic as a mustard seed. And then Allah ends the verse by saying He is latif, gentle with His servants, lakinnahu khabir, but He's aware of everything that you do. The concept that Luqman is trying to instill and convey to his son is what is known as the third level of our religion, known as ihsan, perfection of our religion, known by another word in the Arabic language as muraqabah. This is where a person is highly aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all times. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was asked in the hadith of Jibreel, فَأَخْبِرْنِي عَنِ الْإِحْسَانِ, tell me about ihsan. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded by saying, أَن تَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. Is to serve Allah, to worship God as if you see Him. And even though you know you can't see Him, you know for certainty that He sees you. This is known in the Arabic language as muraqabah, God consciousness, to be in a constant state of awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In your interactions with Him, in your interactions with yourself, and your interactions with the world that you share with others. This type of advice makes a young man self-aware, aware of himself, and how much we are in need of that today for our young men. To make them self-aware, aware of yourself, and makes them responsible and to take accountability for themselves, and it makes them sincere in their engagements with others. Because if you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you, every single action that you take, every single engagement that you have in your life is done with sincerity. Even if it's wrong, it's still sincere. There's no malice, no ill will, no ill intent. It's a mistake, it's a khata, but it was still sincere. And when you are directed to your mistake, you hold yourself accountable. How much are we in need of that today? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in another ayat in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ. Allah says, and those who إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً, when they do something wrong, they do an evil deed, they do something wrong, أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ, they do something wrong against someone else, أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ, or they do a sin against their own souls. ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ, they remember Allah in that moment. فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ, and they seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and those who when they do a wrong deed, they transgress against someone else or they transgress against themselves. They remember Allah in that moment. And then they seek Allah's forgiveness. Then Allah says, وَمَن يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. And who else is it that can forgive sins except God? وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا. And they don't insist, they don't persist in the wrong that they were doing. وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. While they know better. It's a sense of self-awareness. So as you can see in the ayah, once the person realizes that they have erred, they don't persist in the sin. They take accountability of themselves because there's an awareness that will not allow them to ignore their error. And how much are we in need of this today? In a society full of sociopathic behaviors where everyone is right and everyone is wrong. Where nothing is anybody's fault. It's always somebody else's problem, always somebody else's fault. Severe victimhood, where everybody's a victim. We got all of this crime, all of this corruption, all of this dysfunction in our society, and nothing is anybody's fault. Where is the accountability? The condition of our communities, the condition of our children, the condition of our masajid, the condition of our marriages. Who's accountable? Nobody. Always someone else's fault. That shows that there's a lack of accountability in our communities. Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, one of the great scholars of the past, he said, "Al-mu'min qawamun ala nafsi." The mu'min, the believer, qawamun ala nafsi. He takes accountability for himself. He's responsible for his own soul. Yuhasib nafsahu lillah. He holds himself accountable for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not because of public scrutiny, not because his mistake became public, but because he himself deep down inside did self-inventory and realized I've erred. And he holds himself accountable for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنَّمَا خَفَّ الْحِسَابِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ عَلَى قَوْمٍ حَاسَبُوا أَنفُسَهُم. Indeed, the scales will be lightened for the people who take responsibility for themselves in this life. وَإِنَّمَا شَقَّ الْحِسَابِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ عَلَى قَوْمٍ أَخَذُوا هَذَا الْأَمْرَ بِغَيْرِ مُحَاسَبَةٍ. But the scales of bad deeds will be heavy on the day of judgment, will be difficult on the day of judgment for those who refuse to hold themselves accountable in this life. To know that nothing escapes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge. It's the highest level of human engagement and the highest level of spiritual consciousness that is unfortunately a quality that is becoming extinct in the Muslim community today, where nothing is anybody's fault. And this is this era of extreme victimhood, which is more of a psychosis than it is a deflection of accountability. We have to really take a deeper look at why no one wants to be accountable, why no one wants to be responsible. This perpetual victimhood allows us the comfort and the privilege of never taking account of ourselves. If you're always the victim, someone has always done something wrong to you, you never have to look at yourself. Because it's always someone else's fault. This extreme victimhood, where I'm always the victim. It's always, we do it in our marriages, we do it with our children, we do it in our masajid, in our communities. Rampant victimhood. Everyone is a victim. جاء رجل إلى عمر رضي الله عنه يشكو الظلم. A man came to Umar bin al-Khattab رضي الله عنه. I want you guys to pay attention to this example. A man came to Umar bin al-Khattab رضي الله عنه to complain about an oppression that was being done to him, an injustice that was being done to him. And Umar رضي الله عنه, he was busy doing something else, and he got angry and upset at the guy for disturbing him. He said to the man, أَتَتْرُكُونَ الْخَلِيفَةَ حين يكون فارغا حتى إذا شغل بأمر المسلمين أتيتموه. And you guys have nothing, to say to me when I'm free. But the moment I become busy with managing the affairs of the Muslims, you want to preoccupy me. You want to busy me with your issues. فَضَرَبَهُ بِالضُّرَّةِ. So he hit the man with the butt of his sword. Stop bothering me. فَانْصَرَفَ الرَّجُلُ حَزِينًا. So the man walked away, disturbed by the response. This is the leader of the Muslims. The same response that the Prophet ﷺ gave to Abdullah bin Maktoum when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayahs, عَبَسَ وَتَوَلَّى and جَاءَهُ الْأَعْمَى. This blind man came to you asking you about Islam while you were talking to some of the elites from Mecca, and he disturbed you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admonished the Prophet ﷺ, your job, your role as a prophet is not to placate the feelings of the elite, of the hegemony, but to give voice to the voiceless. Don't misconstrue your mission here. And it's the same thing Omar did here. Not only did he get angry and upset at the man, he hit the man. Get out of my face. The man walks away, upset, disgruntled. فَتَذَكَّرَ عُمَرْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ أَنَّهُ ظَلَمَهُ. So Umar, here again, taking accountability. Umar thought for a moment, I wronged this man. And he called the man back. And he said to the man, وَأَعْطَاهُ ضُرًّا, and he gave the man the butt of the sword, and he told him, اضربني كما ضربتك. Hit me just like I hit you. Take your haq back from me. This is accountability. This is what I'm talking about. That you realize you wronged someone and you want them to take their haq back, so I don't have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yawm al-qiyamah. You're playing around with the rights of the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is not something to be taken lightly. He said, hit me, strike me just like I struck you. فَأَبَى الرَّجُلُ. So the man said, no, I'm not going to hit you. He said, تَرَكْتُ حَقِّي لِلَّهِ وَلَكَ. He said, I will leave my right for the sake of Allah and for your sake. Omar said to the man, إِمَّا تَتْرُكَهُ لِلَّهِ أَوْ تَأْخُذَهُ مِنِّي. He said, either you leave it for the sake of Allah alone, or you take your right from me. But don't add me in there with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't do nothing for me, because I don't want that to come back to me. Either you leave your right for the sake of Allah alone, or you take your right back from me. Don't say I leave my right for you and Allah. Don't put me as a partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the man said, I leave my right for the sake of Allah. فَانْصَرَفَ عُمَرْ إِلَى مَنْزِلِهِ. Here again, Umar still self-reflective, self-accountable. Umar goes home to his house. فَصَلَّ رَكْعَتَيْنِ, and he prays 2 rak'ah. ثُمَّ جَلَسَ لِنَفْسِهِ. This is the hard part. When you got to look yourself in the mirror. When you got to have those hard conversations with yourself. He didn't pass the buck. He took the conversation on himself. جَلَسَ لِنَفْسِهِ. He sat down with himself. And he said, يَا ابْنَ خَطَّابِ, O son of Khattab, كُنْتَ وَضِيعًا فَرَفَعَكَ اللَّهُ. You were lowly and Allah raised you. كُنْتَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَاكَ. You were astray and Allah guided you. كُنْتَ وَضِيعًا فَأَعَزَّكَ اللَّهُ. You were ignoble and Allah gave you honor and nobility. وَجَعَلَكَ خَلِيفَةَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. And Allah made you the Khalifa of the Muslims. فَأَتَاكَ رَجُلٌ يَسْتَعِينُ بِكَ عَلَى دَفْعِ الظُّلْمِ فَضَرَبْتَهُ. He said, and then a man came to you asking for your assistance in an injustice that was done to him, and you did a further injustice to him. He said, مَا تَقُولُ يَا ابْنَ خَطَّابِ مَا تَقُولُ لِرَبِّكَ غَدًا إِذَا أَتَيْتُهُ. He said, O son of Khattab, what are you going to say to your Lord on Yawm al-Qiyamah when Allah asks you about this situation? What are you going to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Yawm al-Qiyamah when He asks you about this situation? This is what I'm talking about. Self-reflection, self-accountability, taking ownership. And this is what Luqman was trying to instill in his son. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-azim. ونفعني وإياكم بما جاء فيه من الآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول ما تسمعون أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المؤمنين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله العلي الجبار غافر الذنب وقابل التوب الشديد العقاب وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Luqman's advice to his son provides us as Muslims with the blueprint for a healthy father-son relationship from a divine perspective. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions many conversations between men in the Quran. And we can extract from these conversations, from these stories, what we need to perfect our experience with Islam, our experience with one another. One of the elements to perfecting our experience is God consciousness, self-awareness, self-inventory, self-accountability. When you are aware that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you, hears you, nothing escapes his knowledge subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that he will bring all things to light yawm al-qiyamah, as he says, يَوْمَئِذٍ تُعْرَضُونَ لَا تَخْفَى مِنْهُمْ خَافِيَةٌ. On the day when all of you will be presented in front of your Lord, لَا يَخْفَى مِنْكُمْ خَافِيَةٌ. Nothing that you have done will be absent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing that you've done will be hidden. I don't care if it's done on a cell phone and nobody else can see you. I don't care if you're at home alone and no one else can see you. I don't care if you're on a phone with someone in a conversation, just you and them. Nothing will be hidden from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This concept helps us to better our interaction with one another. A man came to Ibrahim ibn Adham, and I'll end with this last incident, talking about being self-aware, taking inventory of your actions, taking responsibility and accountability for your actions. Man came to one of the scholars of the past, Ibrahim ibn Adham, and he said, Ya Aba Ishaq, inni musrifun ala nafsi, fa'rid alayya ma yakunu laha zajiran. He said, Oh Abu Ishaq, I commit so many sins. My soul is constantly inclining towards disobeying Allah. Please give me some advice that will make me stop. And Ibrahim said to the man, إذا دعتك نفسك إلى معصية الله فاعصيه. He said, the next time your soul calls you to disobey Allah, disobey Him. Go ahead. But before you do it, I want you to think about 5 things. He said, إذا أردت أن تعصي الله فلا تأكل من رزقه. The next time you think about disobeying Allah, then don't eat from His provision. So he says to the man, he says to Ibrahim, وَكَيْفَ أَعِيشُ الرِّزْقُ كُلُّهُ مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. How am I going to live? All of my provision come from Allah. So Ibrahim said to the man, أَلَا تَسْتَحْيِ أَن تَعْصِي اللَّهَ وَتَأْكُلْ مِنْ رِزْقِهِ. Shouldn't you be the least bit embarrassed to disobey Allah and then turn around and eat from the things He has provided you with? He said to the man, give me the next one. He said, إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَعْصِي اللَّهَ تختفي في مكان لا يراك الله فيه. The next time you decide to disobey Allah, go hide in a place where God can't see you. He said, where am I going to go? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees everything. هو البصير العليم الخبير. He's the all-seer, the all-aware, the all-knowledgeable. He said, ألا تستحي أن تعصي الله وهو يراك. He said, aren't you the least bit embarrassed to disobey Allah, knowing that He's watching you? He said, give me the third. He said, إذا أردت أن تعصي الله فلا تسكن في أرضي. The next time you decide to disobey Allah, then don't live on this earth. He said, what? أين أسكن؟ الأرض كله لله. Where am I going to live? The whole earth belongs to Allah. Isn't this what we tell our children? You can't obey my rules, get out of my house. Same applies to you and your relationship with God. He said, aren't you the least bit embarrassed that you disobey Allah and then sleep comfortably on His earth? He said, إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَعْصِي اللَّهَ فَعْصِيهِ. He said, the next time you want to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then don't live on this earth. He said, وَإِمَّا يَنزَغَنَّكَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ نَزْغٌ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ. إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. He said, وجاءك الموت ليقبض روحك ملك الموت ليقبض روحك فقل له أخرني حتى أتوب توبة نصوحا. He said the next time you decide to disobey Allah, when the angel of death comes to snatch your soul out of your body, tell the angel of death, give me a moment and let me repent. He said, how am I going to do that? The angel of death is not going to give me any extra time. He said, then aren't you the least bit embarrassed that you would disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that you're going to die, knowing that you may not have a chance to repent, and then you have to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that sin. And lastly, when you decide to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَجَاءَكَ الزَّبَانِيَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ لِيَأْخُذَكَ إِلَى النَّارِ فَلَا تَذْهَبْ مَعَهُمْ. The next time you decide to disobey Allah, and the Zabaniya, the angels that come and take you and usher you to the hellfire, just tell them that you're not going to go with them. So how would I do that? They're just going to take me without question. He said, فَكَيْفَ تَرْجُوَ النَّجَاةَ إِذَنْ. So how can you expect to be successful in this life or in the hereafter when you don't take accountability of your actions? You don't take accountability for your sins, your deeds, whether against yourself or whether against other people. These are the type of advices that we need. This is the type of advice that we need in our lives to help us keep us straight. We all err. We all stray from the path every now and then. But if we're sitting back waiting for somebody else to correct us, you should be able to correct yourself. We all know the difference between halal and haram. No one here is oblivious. No one here commits sin and then say, oh, I didn't know that was haram. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna al-halal bayyin wal haram bayyin." The halal is clear and the haram is clear. So if we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we stray from the path, it's not because we didn't know. It's due to other things. A weakness, shaitan caught you vulnerable, tormented by other things, and you just dig a deeper hole for yourself, self-defeating, self-sabotaging attitudes to the end of it. But take accountability for yourself. We're all adults, we're grown. Hold yourself accountable. As Umar radiallahu anhu said in ending, حَاسِبُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُحَاسَبُوا. Hold yourself accountable today before there come a time when you will be held accountable. حَاسِبُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُحَاسَبُوا. Hold yourself accountable today before there come a time when accountability will be had for you, or accountability will be taken for you. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we understand the concept of self-accountability. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we begin taking practical steps to learn how to hold ourselves accountable when we err, when we stray. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us Jannah. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-Jannah wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawlin aw amal wa na'udhu bika min al-nari wa ma qarraba ilayha min qawlin aw amal. Allahumma taqabbal minna innaka anta as-sami'u al-alim wa tub alayna innaka anta at-tawwab ar-rahim. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وآخر دعوانا عن الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.